Coming up on 9 News Mornings, evictions in Colorado are at the highest rate in 5 years. We take a look at a new bill that's defining just cause. This morning, we continue our heart-to-heart with you as our health expert explains thinking more about what goes into your body could help prevent heart disease. And on this final day of Black History Month, we'll tell you what an author discovered when he looked into barbecue and its strong ties to the Black community. 9 News Mornings starts now.
Get ready to be hungry because that story looks delicious. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Corey, Jordan, Ed, and Erica with you this morning.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Looks like it might be a hold on to your hats kind of day, especially for people in the foothills.
Yeah, it's going to be windy around here. 45-mile-an-hour gusts, I think, in the city here. We could see 70-mile-an-hour gusts in the foothills and the mountains. We have the jet stream right over us, and that translates to very strong winds down here. Then we could see snow from that tomorrow afternoon, but it's going to be light, maybe an inch or so. I don't think it's going to see too much. System is going way too far south, so that will keep us the snow to the southern sections of the state. And in Denver, maybe an inch and a half. I think that's all we're going to see, but we'll be cooler. And again, gusty winds today. So as we take a look, not much going on right now. We've got 35 degrees, so it's a mild morning. You do see the snow beginning to push into the west. We have partly cloudy skies, but farther east, they're clear. So we will see those partly cloudy skies today. A little light snow for the mountain areas. Snow continues as this next system moves our way. And by tomorrow afternoon, we might see a little snow here. Then it sort of ends, and then by tomorrow morning or Thursday morning, we could see a little light snow as well. So partly cloudy today, 47 degrees, but look at this. Winds gusting to 45 miles an hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, winds gradually decrease. We'll see a low down around 20. And then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. We'll call it breezy instead of windy, with some late snow developing and a high only around 40 degrees. Then we see a little snow overnight into Thursday morning. Then the snow ends, 39 degrees. Will stay chilly. 43 on Friday with mostly cloudy skies. 44 on Saturday, and the sunshine returns. We keep the sunshine on Sunday, and we warm it into the mid-50s.
Ed, thank you so much. We want to help you get out the door at this hour. I-25 and Arapahoe Row is where we're looking, and things are quiet. As far as what your travel times look like on I-25 between the Tech Center and downtown and the Tech Center, exactly the same here on I-25 northbound and southbound, 14 minutes. Big picture, lots and lots of green. That's how we like to start things out, at least. So no major problems. We'll run through a couple travel times for you at this hour. Drive into Commerce City on westbound 76 is going to take 11 minutes. If you're heading in from E470, no problems to report on either side of 225 at this hour. You've got a 10-minute ride there between I-70 and I-25. Drive on I-70 between I-25 and 225 and 225 and I-25 east and westbound. In great shape as well. You're looking at a 7-minute drive both ways.
All right, Erica, thank you. Right now, police in Boulder are looking for a man they say shot someone late last night. It happened at 13th and Canyon, which is a few blocks away from Pearl Street. The victim was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police searched for the suspect for a couple of hours, mostly around the CU family housing on Folsom Street, but they couldn't find him. They're only describing the suspect as a white man in his 20s with longer brown hair. Right now, CU says there's no threat to campus or family housing, and anyone with information is asked to call Boulder Police.
Overnight, we're learning about a fire at a home that's under construction and a big emergency response in Douglas County. It happened in a neighborhood just outside of Roxborough Park. South Metro Fire posted this video just within the last hour or so, and you can see quite a large response here to this fire. They say when they arrived, they saw fire venting through the roof, and the gusty winds really threatened to spread that fire to other homes. Thankfully, firefighters were able to get the fire under control, and no one was hurt. Throughout the last year, you may have seen more headlines about gun violence, particularly involving teens. Oftentimes, they are victims and even perpetrators. 9 News reporter Darius Johnson and photojournalist Anna Houston spoke to a few Coloradans working to combat that violence.
I think the hardest part is that a lot of the kids who are involved in this these days don't really understand what they're involved with. They really haven't had a chance to learn. They haven't had a chance to live their life.
I would say the biggest challenge or maybe frustration is just not repeating our mistakes.
Take the time and look at what we're going through and invest in some of these kids, especially the ones that still have a chance, the ones that are locked up.
Being able to address issues and continue to address issues moving forward and not taking a step back.
That was just a portion of what you're going to see in our next hour on 9 News Mornings. Our story focuses on the rise in violent crime among teens, while also looking at the lack of resources and for those kids and exploring potential solutions.
A 14-year-old is accused of driving drunk and crashing a stolen truck in Wheat Ridge, closing parts of Kipling yesterday. Police say the truck ran off the road on Kipling just north of I-70. They say the truck was reported stolen earlier in the day, though it's not clear if there were any injuries or what charges this teen might face.
With COVID-19 protections lifted, Colorado saw the most eviction filings last year since 2018. Landlords filed 45,980 in 2022. The dip in the middle of that graph is 2020, when evictions bottomed out during the pandemic. The rising numbers are prompting conversations about housing at the state capitol.
One bill proposed by Democrats would limit grounds for evicting people.
9 News reporter Steve Stager and 9 News data producer Zach Newman looked at the so-called just cause eviction bill.
One day we'll have heat, the next day we won't.
Depending on the day, Amber Allen is dealing with a new mess inside her apartment. She says her unit at this Denver apartment complex has flooded 6 to 7 times since she moved in.
It rains out of light fixtures, light sockets, my walls.
That's led to mold. All perfect reason to complain, but Allen says she doesn't. She says she's been threatened with eviction or non-renewal of her lease before for complaining.
I just started shutting up and not saying anything because I can't lose my home.
What we want to make sure is that the people are given a fair shot.
Democratic State Representative Serena Gonzalez Gutierrez is sponsoring a bill this session that would make it tougher to evict or non-renew someone without a good reason. Democratic State Senator Julie Gonzalez is sponsoring it in the other chamber.
You shouldn't be able to just evict someone just cause.
Their bill defines what grounds landlords can use to evict someone. Obvious things like a tenant failing to pay rent, committing a serious crime inside the home, refusing to let a landlord inside, or refusing to sign a new lease. And it creates a so-called no-fault eviction, meaning a landlord could evict or non-renew someone's lease if they plan to make substantial repairs to the unit or move into the unit themselves.
We want to clarify on the front end as to what is an acceptable reason to evict someone and what is not.
Organizations representing landlords oppose this bill, claiming it'll make it harder to evict bad tenants, proving especially harmful for so-called mom-and-pop landlords on limited incomes. Allen says it represents a chance to speak up without fear of losing the place she calls home.
Nobody should have to live in fear every day.
A lobbyist for the Colorado Apartment Association says they oppose the bill because he says it amounts to an endless lease. He says people will be far less inclined to loan someone their home if there is no way to get it back. The bill will have its first hearing in a House committee tomorrow. Another bill aimed at helping the state's renters is heading to the Colorado Senate. House lawmakers passed the rent control bill this week. With the legislation, rent control would no longer be outlawed. Instead, counties and municipalities would be allowed to pass their own ordinances to impose rent caps.
As of today, Dish Network is on day 5 of a massive outage that's affecting streams, websites, customer support, and customer accounts. People are not even able to pay their bills. If you go to Dish Network's website, this is what it looks like. A note that says they're experiencing a system issue. Dish, which is based in Inglewood, has not publicly commented on what happened. Many reports are suspecting it is a cyber attack. The outage is affecting Dish's website, apps, and Boost Mobile, though Dish says its TV services are back up and running at this time. Cybersecurity experts are not surprised, though, that it's taken a long time to get to the bottom of it.
In general, the reason that it takes so much time to get back up is because they have frozen all of the systems. They've frozen the backups. They've frozen people's access and the phone numbers that they call. So it's very difficult to recover from a ransomware attack.
John Celio, who you just heard from, says it's crucial for organizations to have a good backup or recovery system in place to be able to bounce back from these situations very quickly.
Well, Xcel Energy executives say they had a very successful year in 2022, $1.7 billion in profit. Turns out a big chunk of it came from Coloradans. Customers here generated $727 million worth of profit for Xcel last year. Xcel does business in 8 states, but Colorado made up more than 40% of its total profits. The company says it's because of, quote, regulatory outcomes and favorable weather.